that Leota Toombs, Kim's mother, was absolutely magnificent to work with, a tremendous talent, and she did the makeup and the wigs and the hair and such for these pirates, plus a lot of other things. But she was a true talent, and I shall always treasure being able to work with her. She was a wonderful person.
Here's a familiar face. Recognize him, Max? Well, now, I think all of you recognize a certain voice that goes with that, too, so let's take a look.
He comes seeking adventure and sought the old pirate's age. Sure, you've come to the proper place, but keep a weather eye over things and hold on tight with both hands, if you please.
Well, now, Max, tell us, in writing the song for Pirates, what kind of research do you do when you're handed this assignment? I mean, who writes pirate music anymore? So, where did you come up with your inspiration for the pirate song?
It's ours. And I did the rhyme, or Sinatra's plunder, and went down to this, and that's how I came up with the lyrics. And people say, well, you know, you're talking about bad things and that. You're talking about rape and things like that. I said, no, there's nothing like that. Just listen to the lyric. And then listen to the lyric. My wife was a school nurse, and she had friends come over one time, and they said, oh, we don't let our kids listen to that because it's so bad. So I got out the lead sheet, and I says, now listen, do you hear anything like that in there? Well, no, but I guess we just assumed that exactly what they were doing.
Now, was it Walt that just basically said, X, you'll make a good songwriter? I mean, how did this happen?
Well, when the last meeting we had on the script, I suggested to Walt that we might have a song in it. And I could have recited it and have sang it to him, and he liked it. And he says, get George Bruns to do the music for you. I thought he was going to say, get the Sherman Brothers to do the song. So that's how I became a songwriter. After that, every show I wrote the script for, I decided to have a song in.
That's crafty of you, X.
You bet.
Now, Harriet, Sam, X, Alice. Now, Pirates was the first attraction where AA figures were used on a grand scale. I mean, was there any pressure in opening this and worrying about, will the AA figures work? Will it all work together? I mean, there must have been some stress in putting this thing together. I mean, in hindsight, it's fun and everything, but how hard of a job was it?
I'm not sure. On my part, I had a heart attack, and I recuperated short after that, and was there for the opening day. But I was down in the bowels of the ride, and I think the stress kind of got to me. Of course, I blame John Hedge and the rest of those guys.
Now, speaking of the AA figures, I've often wondered, what is this guy doing in this photo here?
That's Ken O'Brien, and he had this thing rigged up, and he would mouth the dialogue, and that the machinery inside the head would duplicate what he was doing. I think that it worked on some of the figures, but not all. I thought that's old Ken O'Brien was a happy memory.
You can't tell who's programming who there. But now, Hurricane Harriet, let's talk to you. Exactly, Harriet, what is a figure finisher? What does a figure finisher do? I think so. No. Well, maybe you can share a test. There we go.
Now, can you hear?
Yeah.
We would start, when Blaine Gibson finished the sculpture, it would come to me, and then I would paint actually it wasn't clay then. Well, first I guess it was clay. Then we cast them, and we would start with the complete skin color and so forth. One of the fun things was we had just developed the skin that was really a good skin. And when we were working on the Lincoln for World's Fair, and we had used latex before, which deteriorated very rapidly in a month or so. And so then we had to develop a real skin that would work. And of course, Lincoln had to look like Lincoln. He couldn't just be a character like the pirates. So we had a chemist that came in. He had worked at MGM a lot, and he brought us components. And I brought an electric cooker, and we worked it out right there on my desk, and made it. You know, we could add filling stabilizers or stiffeners or whatever, and the color. And we worked out what was a good skin. And with Lincoln, as you recall, when they wrote him up, they said he even perspires. He's so good. And there was a migratory oil that came to the surface, and that's why he perspired. But the fun part about the pirates was they didn't have to look like anything but characters. And we could paint them anyway. Like the auctioneer, I did him blonde, brunette, and red hair, and with a beard and with mustachio and different effects, and then let one pick which one he thought was best. And we had such fun with all of them, but we were in a hurry. You know, it couldn't just be really down on everything. And the original model, you know, Walt required a three-dimensional model for every attraction. And so when we first developed it, Walt wanted this because we could make additions or corrections on anything without having to do it on the final set. So the model itself was 40 feet long in 1-inch scale, and we put it up on sawhorses at Walt's eye height, so that when you walk through this room filled with sections of the model, it really was an interesting thing. And some people said they thought it was better than the Bible because of the miniaturization. But we completed all the painting and colors and everything on the 1-inch scale. That was 6 inches for most of the pirates, and it was a delight. But the figure finishing, like you asked, was from the beginning painting to the rough mock-up, life-size mock-up, and then after the life-size mock-up, Alice painted it with the real thing. But we tie rags around their heads and just do fun things and work with the artificial eyes and all of these things. Originally just painting them, not using the real eyes that ophthalmologists use. But it was from beginning to end a delightful project. And even the hairs on the legs, if you remember the pirate hanging over the bridge, sticking them in needle by needle. And the animals, because we had never done that many animals. I'd done a cat and dog for Carousel of Progress, but never chickens, goats, pigs, all of these things that we use in the pirate ride. And so all the patterns, all the beginning figure finishing and all the animals was when we had to carve down each sculpture a quarter of an inch at first to allow for the fur or feathers or whatever. So we learned by experience on all of that, but it was fun.
Well, I think there was some footage of, and I think if you look very sharply, I think this is you in this piece of footage working on these three gentlemen here doing the figure finishing. And then I think in a sharp eye we'll see Yale Gracie and Mark Davis and X and Harriet and Bill Justice. So let's take a look.
What Webb does is often called Imagineering, the blending of creative imagination with technical know-how. The audio animatronic performers in the Pirates of the Caribbean show are an example of Imagineering at work. As its name implies, audio animatronics begins with sound. Recorded on tape, the sound can be played back at any time, always on cue. The coined word animatronics represents a special kind of three-dimensional animation. Here's a rehearsal for the scene where the town mayor is dumped in the well every 20 seconds for